with my meetings, I really feel like, the second you walk into the meeting room, right, it dictates how the practice is going to go. So if you go into your meeting room and you're sluggish and you're, kind of down and not excited, I feel like the kids are going to practice that way. And that might just be me, how I do things. We practice in the morning here at Tulane. So we start meetings at, 7 a.m. But in my meetings, I'm going to hit with the kids, hey, practice organization. How are we going to hit our drills for the day? What are we doing? Are we doing 7-on-7 team, kind of the order of how we're doing things, just to give them a brief overview so they kind of know what to expect. Then with the video, I'm going to organize it like this. I'm going to organize it with individual first, one or two clips from any individual drills we did, whether it's footwork, whether it's tackling, whatever it is, show the kids that, hey, like I am watching it and this is why it's important. To any one-on-one clips we do that day, 7-on-7 Skelly, and then team, and one thing I really like to do is I'll show a clip of us going against it, and, whether it's, I pro power, and then I'm going to show a clip of us versus the scouts, and I'm going to show a clip of them running it. So you're kind of double tapping it with, hey, the kids are seeing one thing, this is how it's supposed to look with the scouts, and now this is how we do it with us. And I think that's been really, really good, for our kids, because we're kind of getting both sets of film in, and this is kind of just a real quick, guys, just an example of kind of what I do in my meetings. So, one thing I really believe in is, I'm going to show the kids a playlist. Hey, what are we going to run in practice for the day? Hey, what are we installing? And so I really love PowerPoint. I'm a huge PowerPoint fan, but I also believe, right, that men are visual learners. And especially in this day and age with technology that kids are in, it's like you can see this an example of one of my playlists that we, a practice playlist for us. And anything that I want to highlight, whether it's a note for myself, or make an example of, I'm going to stick that in a different color. So you can see like stump. Hey, that was a 3x1 check for us, right? So now I know, hey, I'm going to talk about stump here, and then later I'm going to install that. Hey, blast was a check for us. Hey, I'm going to make sure I make a big deal about that stuff, right? And so anything new or anything that I really want to, give the kids a quick snapshot about, I'm going to put that in a different color, because one, it reminds me that, and I think it sticks out. It's a little bit more visual for the kids. As we go through, hey, the call, as you saw on the slide before, was Brady. Well, hey, this is what Brady is. Hey, 2x2, it's Boomer, which is a call that we've had in for a long time, guys, right? And then, hey, 3x1, we're going to check flame, and I'm going to talk about it, right? And then on the next slide, I'm going to take clips, right, or pictures, and insert that in a PowerPoint of our kids doing it, right? And so still in this, I'm color coding it for myself, right? Hey, Meg, man everywhere he goes, right? Corners know that day one. Hey, Mod, man only deep. Corners know that day one. It's easy. We're going to talk about our match coverage a little bit later on. Hey, but look, I put this, our strong safety coming down, right? He's in red. Well, hey, that reminds me, I got to make a big deal. There's some points that I need to make about just a strong hook defender in that, right? So not only, hey, am I showing the kids one thing, I'm reminding myself, hey, I'm going to emphasize this point. Hey, it's in a different color. So now the kids know, hey, I need to alert myself to this, that coach is going to talk about something, and then again, any tendencies they have, hey, this was this is kind of a made up one. Hey, but the team we're playing 3rd and 7+, it's 100% pass, right? The type of things we're getting. But again, hey, I'm emphasizing this. So now we go out onto the field, we're doing our script, right? And, hey, it's 3rd and 7. Hey, I should hear all the DBs start yelling out, hey, birds, 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 which is our code word for pass, right? And so now, hey, the kids are getting this in different ways. But again, I'm going to emphasize this and highlight this with some different type of color, right, to make it a big point. Guys, one thing I really, and I'm not trying to plug something, but we use it at Army. We use it here. We use an app called Learn to Win. I suggest you guys look into that if it's something you want to do. But basically, with the way technology is, some of you guys probably have Huddle. If you're in college, you have Exos, right? I'm going to give the DBs a weekly teach tape. And I got this from, Jay Bateman. And that's basically just a quick overview, guys, of what we're going to see out of the opponent, right? And I'll show you an example of kind of what I put in the teach tape here in a little bit, right? I'm also going to send the kids cut-ups, right, of practice, okay? A lot of things that we can't hit with our time constraints is one-on-ones and 7-on-7. Well, you know, Learn to Win allows me to use a voice overlay. So it takes me about 15 minutes to make a cut-up. I can make a voice overlay and send it to all the kids for mistakes they make. But, you know, if you can't do that, I think making certain cut-ups of the kids and letting them watch film on their own with notes is really important, right? And then I'm also going to do, you know, team versus the offense in that cut-up, you know, because sometimes we don't get to that. We're so focused on game planning, but hey, we're going good on good versus the offense. Hey, man, we got to take time to, you know, look at some of this stuff because it carries over. And then I'm going to give them a weekly tips and reminders on Thursday for those kids. So each week, my kids are getting a teach tape. They're getting 2 or 3 days worth of practice cut-ups, and they're also going to get, you know, a tips and reminders every Thursday for. So this is, I'm going to buzz through this because it's probably the least important part, but this is kind of stuff that I would send them on Learn to Win, right? So this is the team we're playing, you know, quick coaching points, right? You know, they're coming off a bye week, they're a spread offense, quick passing game, blah, 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 whatever you want to tell them, right? But then, you know, in college football, and I think in football in general, people get so stuck on like, hey, we're playing, you know, Josh Christian Young. Well, you know, for me, I try to look at it as, hey, we're playing number 7, right? And number 7 for SMU was a really talented quarterback. Here's his stats. And I'm going to have a picture of him. I'm going to show his stats up until we played them. And I don't have it on here, but right after this, guys, I'm going to show, you know, 3 or 4 clips to the guys real quick about, hey, this is some good plays the guy makes. And then I'm going to show 3 or 4 bad plays he makes. So they get a little bit of both. And that's also going to be on the teach tape as the stuff that I'm going to show them in this. So real quick, quarterback, obviously number 7 is really talented. I'd show him, hey, this is number 26. He's a true freshman. You can see his stats. 7 rushing touchdowns, blah, 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 right? But I'm going to go through and do that for each of the skill players on offense as much as I can. And if there's a lineman, you know, for the safeties that's really good, I'm going to show them clips and show them things of just a lineman real quick in my teach tape. So that just kind of gives you a quick overview of that. But what do I want to hit, right? So when I look at it for the week or I look at it each day, okay, I'm going to have a checklist and I'm going to make sure, hey, I'm hitting at least, you know, 3, 4 of these things every day. You know, tackling. Football is 2 things, guys. It's blocking and it's tackling, right? And so I'm going to hit tackling dang near every day, whether it's approach to tackling drill. I'm a big believer in bodies. I know people like to use the rugby rings. That's a whole nother clinic. I want to use bodies as much as I can. I'm going to hit footwork. I'm going to talk about, you know, any type of coverage technique, whether it's the safeties with catch technique, corners with press, corners with off, whatever it is, guys, right? We're going to try to hit that every day. Any scheme stuff we need to hit, you know, whether it's a certain motion, adjustment, a check, I'm going to take 2-3 minutes to hit that. I'm going to hit ball drills as much as I can. And like I said, block destruction. So those are kind of the 6 things. When I look at my individual or I look at practice, you know, if we're doing a tackling circuit or something like that, hey, I don't got to worry about tackling today, right? I'm going to get that in. But I'm going to make sure I get these 6 things as much as I can every single day in practice, right? Now, Thursday's a little different. Friday's a little different, but that's a whole nother story. But again, going back to it. So I got footwork and ball drills in red. Those are some drills I'm going to show you guys here real quick, and then we're going to get into the match stuff. So my footwork drills, right? We like to kind of talk about these in 2 different things, right? Perfect footwork and imperfect footwork. So your perfect footwork drills are going to be your drills where you're just backpedaling nice and easy. Everything's on a line. Everything's perfect. You know, as much as we can, I try to give kids different drills to change things up. So a lot of my footwork drills end up getting into the imperfect footwork world. This drill right here, you know, I'm a huge believer. I don't have it on this one, right? But I'm a huge believer in the W drill, right? And we talk about plant foot, drive foot. Well, I call this drill the X drill, okay? And so what we're going to do is we're going to pedal the boys back and easy, right? Not backwards. We're going to break them one way, have them pedal, and break them back the other way. So now, right, we're getting used to, if you watch number 9 here, most of the drills, he's pretty quick, right? We're getting used to cutting. Now, when you do drills, right, you know, in a perfect world, you know, Jalen Monroe, this is plant foot, this is drive foot, right? Well, that's awesome, but most of the time when they're out there on the field, their feet get messed up, right? They end up planting off the wrong foot, which you're going to see Jalen do here. Now he starts to slip. Like, yeah, you want him to be perfect, but this is an imperfect game. It's an imperfect world. So I don't try to beat that stuff. You know, when we're doing perfect drills, hey, it's plant foot, drive foot. But here I'm trying to get these guys used to being comfortable with being uncomfortable in their footwork. So a big believer, really like this X drill. I can't remember who I got it from. I didn't invent it. But this is another way to get the kids going. You know, hey, I'm still beating up. Like you watch Macon Clark here, right? The kid in the middle. His first one's really good, right? You can see his plant foot and his drive foot. But as he comes back to this second one, if I slow it down, you can see how he starts to step back in the bucket. Well, hey, that ain't what we want, man. We still want this to be plant foot, drive foot, and explode, right? And so that's something I would give the kids as we're going through and learn to win. You know, another thing we did, you know, this is a Coach Fritz thing, and it's really good. You know, again, we'll have the kids open up, right? And so now we're saying, hey, we're already into our route, okay? So now we call this route tree footwork. So again, you can see we'll have them open. You can't see me standing here, but we'll have them open and run. And the key to this is you got to change your cadence up and run. Like you can see number 25 here, right? He's a freshman. He's not really pushing himself. He's trying to get the drill perfect. But you can see number 9 here, Jalen Monroe, right? He's opening and running, right? And the whole emphasis on this, hey, I'm still talking about plant foot, drive foot as I come through, but any head motion we want, right? I want to see how fast my head can snap from be on this shoulder and snap to this shoulder to carry my body, my momentum, right? So we'll work this out of, you know, we'll speed turn this and work it out of 90, right? We'll open hip it. And again, you can see the difference, right? This is a senior, this is a freshman, right? You see how the freshman's really kind of trying to be under control. I don't want you under control in this. I want you pushing yourself. When you do footwork, right? When you're covering guys in one-on-ones, you're in funky positions. So I'm going to try to get you to push yourself as much as you can. And hey, now I'm simulating that the receiver's here and he snapped off and he's broken it out. Right? And so you can see the difference between 9 and 25 right there. And all I'm doing, guys, I'm having them burst 5 yards, right? Hey, burst to this line, burst to this line. But you can tell the difference in pushing themselves and their tempo between these two guys right here. Here's another way we'll do it, right? So we'll open, obviously we'll do this both ways. We'll come back down on a 45. So again, we're still talking about plant foot, drive foot here, right? And how quick I can get my shoulder from my head from this shoulder to this shoulder as much as we can. But again, you see, you know, 9 rounds it a little bit, but he's pushing himself, right? 26 is a little bit more under control. He's sticking it. But what I like about 27 or 37 here, 36 here, excuse me, right, is you can see his plant foot and how his drive foot comes back around, right? And he's really pushing himself at a good angle here. You can see 21 though, right? Look how slow his head is. He's not opening, right? And how slow his head is. These two snap their head around. They're more in control to point themselves and carry themselves. 21's not in control, right? He rounds it. That's the difference between making a good play on the ball and not. So I got this shoot from the Chicago Bears a long time ago, right? We call this improper footwork. So what I want here is I'm going to have these guys try to get 1,000,000 reps, and they're going to weave on this line as much as they can. Again, purposely, this drill is to get them being comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? So their feet are going to get screwed up here. So as you can tell, I'm having them pedal as fast as they can and get a bunch of reps. And I'm just getting them to go. I call this DTS, right? Plant foot, drive foot, break right back down the line of scrimmage, right? Again, you're going to plant out the wrong foot sometimes. Some guys can stick it like Javari Bordeaux does here and be perfect. And some guys get jacked up. So here's just another angle of it. Again, we're pushing ourselves as much as we can. You know, you want to see, hey, plant foot, drive foot still gain ground. But sometimes, man, when you're breaking, you ain't going to be perfect when you do this. So we'll go DTS. We'll come right back down line of scrimmage. I'll slow it down a little bit. You know, you can see my man Willie Langham right here. You can see he's a little choppy, right? See how he steps, boom, boom. He takes 3 or 4 steps to get himself back in the bucket, right? You can see Macon Clark here is a little bit cleaner. Boom, plant foot, drive foot. We're just trying to get him being comfortable with being uncomfortable. So now we'll work it. We got it, and we'll break on a W. So same drill, and now we're working a W drill. So you can see Willie Langham here, right? Pretty good. Getting a bunch of reps, plant foot, drive foot, no false steps, gaining ground, right? Johnny Kerr right here, same thing. Boom, boom, plant foot, drive foot, pretty good. Pretty good by Chase Kershins. That's a good little rack right there. So again, we're just trying to screw up their feet as much as we can. Here's me just working with the safeties with it, right? Pretty good job by Chase. Boom, plant foot, drive foot. Now, a lot of times when you do this stuff, he might plant off this foot, and this has to be his drive foot, right? Again, you watch one-on-ones, man, that happens a lot more than what you think, right? When you think it happens. So I'm just trying to drill this, get this in good as much as we can. You can see Cornelius Dyson here, right? He's a little jacked up, right? He gets his feet jacked up, but you're just getting them comfortable with planting and accelerating as much as they can off of all this stuff, right? Here it is. We'll work it at a 90 going both ways. Same type of drill. I think you guys kind of get the gist of it. Again, now we'll just do it. And here we're just breaking on a post. So same type of deal, getting them to break on an angle, trying to get their feet screwed up. I think it's a pretty good drill. I've seen a lot of them. All right, ball drills. I think in college football now, and in football in general, right, kids don't go out and play catch a lot, okay? And I think one of the hardest things, my time at Army, I felt this way, and even coming into this conference in this league, I feel the same way too. You have to throw deep balls, okay? You have to. Kids, it's a judging thing. It's a tracking thing. You know, kids just don't do that enough, right? And so one way we'll set it up, and it's cut short here, but we'll have, you know, our safeties in the middle of the field, and we'll have them pedal like they're a one high safety. We'll have a quarterback stand back here, and he's going to chuck it. He's going to throw it, put air on it this way, or put air on it this way, right? And so you can see now, you can really see what kids can track the football, can close the middle of the field, and have range. That's something that a lot of kids, you know, really don't have. But to double tap this, we'll hit the safeties with a one high rep, and we'll have the corners either play off or bail this. Now, here you're going to see us working a vertical ball, right? But what we will do with these guys too is we'll do it where we get a rep of the safeties, and we'll have the corners with a post action with it, right? Or we'll work cover two with it with the safeties. You can mix this drill up a bunch, and it seems silly and it seems dumb, but man, just getting kids to run and track the football in the air, I think it's a lost art, and we will do this drill once a week. You can see we're getting a bunch of reps. We're getting corners and safeties. Pretty good job by Macon right there, right? You know, always talking about, hey, deep balls are always one more step than you think you need. You want your elbows above your eyes, go up and high point the football. You know, you can see here, right? We would call this, I don't want to cuss, we would call this BSing, man. Like, that's not good. That's not what we want, man. Run, track the football, use two hands, go up and get it, man. Go up and get the football. But it's getting a bunch of reps with it. You know, here's another way to do it with the safeties. We just have it constricted with our field. It's the same drill we just worked. You know, we'll have the quarterback look different ways, get the kid on his landmark, have him break, track the football. You guys have done a bunch of this stuff. You know, now we'll do this drill. You know, this is a different type of a safety technique we're playing, but we'll do this with our strong hook, our weak hook, different things like that. You're about to see a freaking howitzer. Look at that ball, just rocking it. Great form, great technique, right? I can't believe Larry Brooks actually caught that football, right? But just having a body there, give him a good little angle, just different drills you can do. But, you know, the one that I saw show up a lot more, right? And again, I got this is from freaking the Chicago Bears, right? That I got a long time ago. You know, we're putting a bag here, all right? And so all I'm doing is I'm having the DB run and doing different things to get his body screwed up, right? And we're saying this is the receiver. You're going to have to step in front of the receiver to take the football away sometimes, right? I'm going to show you two clips of it where it came this year, right? I don't want him to hit the bag. You know, you see how Larry kind of puts his arm right here, not really looking for that, but want to see you know, not touch the bag, step in front of it and take the football away from the wide receiver, right? We'll throw high balls. We'll throw low balls. We'll have them come at this different angles. We'll throw fumbles at them. We'll throw different types of things just to screw them up. But we want to see you pop and push vertical off of this to get an interception. So, you know, we'll work at it at an angle, just using the bag as a receiver, right? Step in front of it, come in different ways. Boom, go take the football away. You know, and here, you know, just that, you know, having them spin, just doing different things that come on, have body control to take the football away, man. And it shows up more, you know, than you think it would. So here, This is a freshman for us, Cornelius Dyson from Dallas, Texas, right? And you can see he reads the screen perfect, and this is the drill. There's the bag. He steps in front of it, makes a heck of a play. He's not, I'll let the clip run, but he ain't going to score because he's not that fast, right? Should have been in the end zone. All right, here's another freshman for us, Cornelius Dyson against Memphis. You can see him right down here. There's a huge play in the game, right? But here it is. The receiver steps up, right? Cornelius steps right in front of him. That's the bag drill, right? I believe as much as you can, you need to get your, whether it's tackling, ball drills, whatever it is, man, let's get around bodies, and that bag simulates that. And now we're taking the football away and trying to go freaking score, right? Finish drills. All right, so everybody does PBU drills, guys. You know, just a generic one. We'll have them go vertical, secure the tackle, and try to strip and get the football out, right? Digging at it. You know, this is just trying to get a bunch of reps as much as we can. You know, one thing we'll do is we'll have them run post. We'll have them run comebacks with this drill. So our commands will be set, hit, ball, and we'll have the ball come out, have them finish, just getting light drills. But, you know, the one that I think is better, you know, we call this the glove drill. So I got two angles at this. So again, we have a body here. The last drill, you had a body. We're working on bodies. It's more important than anything, man. And so now this is the stud. This is the dud. Just having a pedal nice and easy. Boom, break. And if we get a great break, we can pick it. If we get a late break, we want to brat it down, right? You can't see, but Chase's hand is turned down, right? His thumb is facing down, and he's going to glove this football and bat it down this way. So he's having replace themselves. Boom, just getting a nice little W drill here still too. Getting your timing down as a coach to throw the ball, right? Boom, bat the ball down. It shows up a lot more. You know, here we are when we were at Army. Now we just have the receiver a little bit wider in this drill is the only thing. So now he's got a, you know, Elijah's in, you know, shoot, he played a lot of snaps with the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Elijah here getting a nice little break, having a nice little pick right, or PBU right here is really nice, right? So here we go. Again, we're going to watch number 9 up top. He gets the cross-country route, tracking, comes down right here. Boom, that's the drill. That's really just the glove drill, just working a different angle with it that you just saw, right? Does a nice job, huge play in the game. Here we are again. Shoot, this is number 9 here again. Right down here at the bottom, guys. This is going to be off a scramble against Memphis. You can see he's plastering his guy. Boom, does a great job. This is an even better clip, man. I wish I could zoom this thing in, but you can see secure the tackle. He's playing his hands. Boom, he's finishing and knocking the football out right there. Huge play in the game. So I think a lot of that stuff shows. Make sure you have a good guy that can throw the football here. This is another one we'll do, right? Just give him a nice, easy toss-up. You know, I think a lot of kids, when you watch it, right, we had, I mean, shoot, I don't even know how many PIs we had off of this year. We had 3 or 4, right, where guys panic with the ball in the air. Well, hey, now we're just simulating, man. When this receiver's hands go up, and you guys know this, man, that football's coming out, right? So his hands are up, boom, go shoot your hands to the pocket, dig the football out, right? We'll drill this a lot. Boom, this is a great rep here by Macon Clark from Destrehan, Louisiana, right? Nice little ball right here. Great little throw by the quarterback. Looks like Aaron Rodgers dropping dimes. Boom, right? Making us a great job, making a big play and getting it out, right? And again, this shows up more. We're watching Willie Langham here, one of our Alabama boys. Here we are against East Carolina, right? Does a nice job on the fade ball, going up, playing the hands and getting it out, and right, and getting the football out. All right, now, Rip Liz match coverage. So, you know, for us, you know, this was our base call. It was, you know, shoot, it was one of our base calls at Army. We had a lot of success with it. One of our better calls for us this year, right? And we didn't invent this coverage, but we've run it for a while. So I'm going to give you guys a very big, broad stroke of one of our coverages with it. If we got time, we'll take some Q&A, and we'll see how it goes from there. So just for the sake of this, so you guys know who I'm talking about when I'm talking about it, this is how we line up, right? So boundary corner, you know, free safety, strong safety, our nickel, our field corner, Mike Will. You'll hear me talk about our joker, which is our stand-up end, and then nobody cares. If you're in this thing, you don't really care about the D linemen. So those guys just go up there and knock people back, right? But that's how we line up. So you're going to hear me talk about this, and I just want to give you guys a thing. So I'm going to talk about our boundary three rotation here, okay? When we're in our dime package, right, which you just saw a second ago, okay? We're going to have a one-word thing that's going to tell us, hey, we're in our boundary rotation, okay? I know a lot of people use NFL quarterbacks. I mean, you can use whatever you want. But all of our B words, right? So, Boomer, Brady, Breeze, whatever it is, right? That is saying that our boundary, because we're a bench-style defense, is our match side, right? That's the side of which safety's coming down, okay? When we're in our nickel package, which I'll show you some clips here in a second, right? That's going to allow us to be a little bit more versatile in this. But the way you have to think about this coverage is, you're going to get the best of both worlds. You're going to get spot drop 3 when you want spot drop 3. You're going to get man coverage when you want man coverage. So a couple things you're going to hear me talk about here real quick. I'm only going to talk about 2 calls, right? Is match, right? So in this coverage, our free safety or our nickel are going to make a match call, right? And all that's doing is that saying, hey, I'm going to carry the number 2 receiver vertical and only vertical. But it's also telling the inside linebacker, hey, you're the hook to flat player now. You have to handle number 3 if he goes to the flat because I am not going to handle him, right? And then you're going to hear me talk about zone it calls, right? We'll use zone it when it's a constricted formation, or it could be an FIB into the boundary. And when we get that, guys, right, we're going to play true spot drop country cover 3. Okay. And so I know I'm going fast, guys. You can hit me up on Twitter later or hit me up later. We can talk about some of this stuff more in depth. But here's a normal 2x2. We always show pro twins first just because we do as coaches. I have no idea why, right? But anyways, our corners, right, start with them. We call them mod players, right? So they are man only deep. Okay, so if my man goes vertical past 5, I have him. It is man-to-man. He is my guy wherever he goes, all right? If he eliminates himself, right, he goes out under 5 or he runs some type of 3-step route, I become a true third player, right? So I can sync off of my guy. If he comes under, we make in and in calls, right? And then we sync so it's alert to everybody else that, hey, my guy's going under, all right? We talk about match players. We only play match on a number 2 receiver, all right? And when we do that, guys, right, we're saying we're going to handle the number 2 receiver vertical, all right? So if he goes vertical and he goes vertical to this side, it's going to look like man free because that's what it is, right? If the number 2 receiver, and I'll show you the landmarks here in a second, eliminates himself, if he goes in, right, I'm going to push to my landmark as a match player. I become a curl flat defender. All right. So I don't have to handle him. I'm playing with vision off the quarterback now, right? If he goes out, I'm a curl flat player, but I'm going to play everything high to low. I'm still going to push to my landmark, but I'm good, right? So same thing. The boundary corner is mod. In a 2x2, we're playing match. We know that our Mike linebacker, right, is a strong hook player. Our Will's the weak hook player, and our strong safety is always a middle third player, right? Here it is versus a 2x2 with the 2 detached, right? Same thing. We know we're playing mod, match, strong hook, weak hook, match, mod, middle third, right? It'll make more sense when I start showing you some film here. Now, we start getting into 3x1s, all right? We start getting into 3x1s, nothing changes, right? Mod, playing match, I have a wide 2, still the strong hook player. I got to handle any 3 in the flat. The only difference is now we get a 3x1, right? Our Will linebacker is the 3-up player, right? He has 3 on an over route. So if 3's running vertical, our Will's going to sync up underneath him. Our backside corners play a mod. There's nobody for our strong safety to match. So he comes down. He's automatically a curl flat player, and he has to handle a running back out of the backfield. Guys, I know I'm going fast. I got 20 minutes or so. I want to try to get to the film here, okay? So if everybody were to eliminate in this coverage, all right, you can see the landmarks that we teach our guys. Now, I think it's really important, and we did not do this before, and I kind of got this when I got here, and it made more sense for the coaches with this staff, to teach the landmarks. and we beat up the landmarks, and now we can play with great vision and great break on this stuff. But these are landmarks. We're going to tell them, hey, you know, our nickel, you're the curl flat player, bottom of the numbers for our free safety. They're taught the exact same way, right? Our strong hook player is going to push to the hash 10 yards deep. Our weak hook player is going to push it on the hash, right, 12 yards deep. You say all the time, man, you know, a lot of footballs are thrown on or near the hash, and so you got to be able to anticipate that as a will, but we'll talk about that more here in a second. So let's get to some film. All right, so here they're going to motion. You know, we're in our boundary 3 rotation, so we're playing match. All right, we know we're playing match because we have a wide 2. You know, our corner's a little far off. We'll tell our corners, hey, you can press or press bail. Based off the D&D, you can play off, which is really, you know, we'll tell those guys, hey, you're 1 by 7 yards. You know, we're going to talk about scooch or catch with our nickel, right? We're going to be at, you know, 7 yards, right? We're going to just kind of baby out. My eyes low beamed on this guy, right? Or we're going to play catch and be a little bit more aggressive. We will always play catch technique on tight ends. Depending on who we're playing at slot, we might play scooch. Again, guys, I know I'm going fast, but we're just kind of hitting the big overall scheme of things. You know, so most of this is going to be passes, but here's a little bit of the run with it. You know, we'll tell our joker sometimes if you're playing a zone read team, you know, we'll make what we call, you know, a Earnhardt or a veer call, and we'll turn this guy loose as fast as he can. You know, here Pat Johnson's, you know, he's a freaking NFL player, does a great job of coming through here and making a TFL. But here, so now, right, we have the same formation. All right. We'll have different calls. You know, if the back is flaring a bunch, you know, we might just go ahead and make a zone it check off the bat and play, you know, normal spot drop over there. But here, you know, we're playing mod, we're playing match. We know we're coming down here and playing match. And so here, as we drop down, right, you can see he eliminates himself, number 1. And you see how the corner points. He's making an in call now, right now. In a perfect world, right, the corner would sink, and now the free safety would come down and push to his landmark. Doesn't really do that, right? The hardest part, we got this a bunch in this league, was a lot of switch routes, switch verticals, and different things like that. You know, obviously you guys know, like this number 2 receiver, like if he does this and he skips, he's not going vertical anymore, right? So they try to pick us. We do a good job at the corner of pressing. Our nickel's working over the top here. You know, good job on the landmark with the will. You know, the Mike's pushing to his landmark. There's nowhere for the quarterback to go with the football, right? We're getting zone coverage. We're getting man coverage when we want it. You can see the Mike starts to relate back to this number 1 receiver coming back here, right? The quarterback panics. Nobody's open. We have good pressure. Ends up being good for the wave right there. Hey, here we are against East Carolina. So now we're 2 by 2. We know we're playing match and match, right? You know, one big thing we really wanted to emphasize, you know, as much as we can, guys, we want to try to hold our shell, right? And our league was a lot of tempo. It's been the fastest league for a long time. So, you know, the hardest part I had, you know, was getting these guys to hold their shell. They're breaking it a lot. They break it here. Here he comes down to play match. You can see we're playing catch technique right here. He treats him as he's vertical. You know, they're running a little bit of an RPO game. This coverage eliminates the RPOs, right, because you're playing man coverage. If we're playing spot drop 3 to a lot of this stuff and we start pushing to our landmark and the linebackers get sucked up for the run plays, man, that little glance route that a lot of people run is wide open. We have a lot of different ways to play that, you know, with cheating our safeties, our high safety to that, which you'll see here in a minute. There's a good job by Chase Kersons from Knoxville, Tennessee right here of moving his feet, doing a good job of playing catch. Good job by Willie Langham and his press technique. There's nowhere for the football to go. The quarterback's got to panic, and the wave's in good shape on this play. Here we are against Temple. All right, so now, right, again, you know, we're starting to see a bunch of oversplits of 2, right? You know, Central Florida does it a bunch. It's kind of a new thing. But, you know, you guys know through film study, we're always telling our kids, hey, they're telling you a story, right? And so this is Cornelius Dyson, a freshman for us, really, really good, really smart football player. He knew when we played these guys, right, we talked about it, you know, with the tight end cut split at 2 and the back offset, you know, we're getting a lot of the spot-ish, you know, type routes, right, out of these guys. So instead of playing match and letting our will linebacker get picked, you can see Cornelius right here making a zone it check. We talked about it versus constricted formations. So you can make it, right, anytime you want. And so now you can see the corner gets it late. Wish you would have told the corner it earlier, but you can see we have a true third player. We have a We Cook player. Rudy pushes to the flat right here. We got this taken away. We have this taken away. If he had a little bit better leverage, but he makes a good little play there. But now we're getting the best of both worlds because you can zone it whenever you want, and you're in great shape with this coverage. All right, so now we get into a 3-by-1 set. All right, so we know we're still playing mob with the corners. All right, this game, you'll see here, guys, because of this kid's a really good player. We played this what we call Meg, which, you know, is all Nick Saban stuff, which is man everywhere he goes. So the corner is going to take him here, right? But now we're watching our match 2 player to the field. He does a good job, right? You can see 2 eliminates. He calls it in, and he starts working to his landmark, right? Which is really good. He's playing with vision. The quarterback scrambles, throws it late, bang, right? Big hit on the guy because we're playing with vision. Doesn't affect. Good job at the corner up top. His guy's vertical. You know, we're cheating a little bit with the high safety. We'll get to that in a minute, but we're in really good shape, and nobody's open on this, right? We have everybody taken care of. Good job by Macon. You can see it from the end zone, playing with vision. You know, this is all the rugby tackle strike zone stuff here. Does a great job handling it, and bang, right? That hurts. You can't get that stuff if you play man coverage, right? We're playing vision and break, and we're whacking people as much as we can. All right, here we are against Southern Miss. It's still another 3-by-1. You can see our corners bailing. We're getting a little, you know, bubble out route so we can play a vision here. Like to see our Mike push to his landmark more. But, you know, a lot of times, we had this a bunch when I was at Army, we played this so much, we started getting a lot of glance and routes back to the weak side, right? So, you know, depending on where the back is and what you're getting, guys, we'll play him a little bit higher, or we'll play him faster into the box, you know, depending on what kind of RPOs we're getting. But you can see, you know, the quarterback comes off his play action, and you can see Chase Kirshens, man, he works to his landmark. We have a guy here. There's nowhere for the quarterback to throw the football now, right? We have everything leveraged, and he's got a duck. Boom, he ends up throwing the football away. But if you can teach the match coverage and get guys pushing the landmarks off of it, it takes this coverage to the next level. Here we are against Houston. This is a motion to a 3-by-1. You know, the beauty of it is you can see, you know, again, we broke our shell. We don't like that, but we're coming down. We're matched. We're just sliding to the box. You know, depending on what we're doing up front, I'm not getting into the run fits as much, guys, right? Again, you saw the first clip where we turned this guy loose. You know, we'll give this guy different gats depending on how we're handling it up front. So you can see here, we make the call. We want the quarterback to handle the football. We make him pull it. I should have played it from the wide, and Chase ends up making a tackle on the play. I got about 10 minutes, so I'm going a little bit faster. All right, so now, right, 3-by-1 again. You know, you can see Cornelius is dropping down in the box. We're playing match. We know we're playing Meg this week because of who we're going against. You know, a lot of times when you watch the NFL teams that do this coverage a lot, the Rams, the Bears, the Broncos, you know, a lot of people really pick on this backside and get the back out flat in different ways. You know, so we'll try to tell, you know, hey, it's your responsibility to not get picked by this guy, right? So a lot of times we'll work over the top. But you can see here, it's a really good job by Jalen Monroe, another Dallas kid for us, right, of matching his guy. You know, this year in football, I've had DBs run into the freaking umpire more than any time I've ever seen, or defensive players. I wish, you know, they just eliminate this position like the NFL does and have him here, but they don't do it, right? But a great job of him, you know, plastering his guy here. You can see up top, Macon's working his scooch technique. His two's vertical. He's in good shape. We have everything matched up as much as we can here. All right, so now, you know, a lot of times, right, teams get in a tempo. So this boundary 3 call was a really good, safe call for us because we could get lined up to it and lined up to it fast. Different weeks, guys, we'll play, you know, FIB formations match, or we'll play it zone. Here, because a bunch we're playing at zone, you can see it's a fast tempo play. You know, we're trying to get lined up as much as we can, right? If we start making a zone it call, remember, right? He's the deep third player. He's the curl flat player. We Cook. right? Now the Mike has to handle 3 on the over. This is a great job. And again, we're cheating some of these routes with this guy right here, Larry Brooks. But you can see they go fast. We make a zone it call, right? The quarterback thinks, hey, I got my guy open here. He doesn't. Larry does a hell of a job, with our one high ball drills, right, of jumping this route and making a huge interception right there, before they're fixing to go in the end zone. It's a huge, huge play right there. But again, I'm not getting too much into the details, but we're cheating here a little bit with some of this stuff. Great job by Larry jumping the routes. Right, here it is again, right, a little bit slower. We got 2 freshmen in the game, deep third, curl flat, boom, pushing to our landmarks here, right? They had some screens, so it looks like it is. Rudy does a nice job of jumping it, right? They're trying to hit us. I don't know if Luce is still on here, but we used to call this the John Luce killer. For you guys that know him, he hated this route, right, with a little screen and go route. It was his pet peeve. So in the script, usually just put Luce killer on it. But we do a good job. Third, right? Quarterback checks it down. We're in good shape right there with Rudy. Nice job with a TFL right there. All right, so now, different ways, guys, we would play this match or zone, depending on what we were doing. Once the number 1 receiver starts getting inside the divide, fellas, we would make a zone it call to that too. Again, it's kind of what we're doing for the week. But just want to put this one on here again because it's the same little run fit call we had a second ago. You can see our ends crashing and make the quarterback think he has to pull it, right? And now our will linebacker's unblocked, and we're in great shape on that. All right, here we go. So now we have the FIB formation again. Different things. If the receiver's on the ball, if the receiver's off the ball. If we're going to play match, if we're going to zone it, kind of changes a little bit. Here we went ahead and zoned it. We should be in good shape, right? You can see Chase is the curl flat player. We're pushing to our landmarks here. We're really good. And now, we cheat a little bit, all right? We always tell our kids, FIB formations, right? It's to overload me, it's to screen me, right? Or it's to isolate me, okay? And so, a lot of times teams do this stuff. We call it a queen here, where we'll play our high safety a little bit more flat-footed and look to break on an angle route to take away some of this RPO stuff. So Larry pedals just a little bit because of the 5-step route, but he does a great job. We were really cheating a little bit here of breaking. You can see, we're pushing to our landmark. The quarterback's got to put air on this ball a little bit, and when he does, pow, right? Now, he ends up catching this ball, but I will take this clean, legal hit any day of the week because that's going to affect the receiver, right? So, the biggest difference I got here was having these guys play with a lot more vision, and you've seen a couple big hits off of that. We're way too deep with the corner, but it's a great job by Larry of coming down and making a nice strike zone hit right there. I know I got like 5 minutes left. I'm going to a couple more clips here, and we'll get you guys out. So now, even with this coverage, guys, as we start getting inside the divide and depending on what we're getting, right, we can make zone it calls to stacks, or we'll play our man tool rules, what people call top hat and locks and different things like that. It's kind of game plan specific for us. But I got 2 clips on here because I want to show you, here we're playing, top hat, right? So it looks like man coverage over here, and that's really kind of what it plays out like. And then up top, right, we went ahead and made a zone it call. So now, right, we're the curl flat player, we're the true third player, pushing to our landmark still. So now the quarterback, man, it's 2 different coverages, right? To this side, it's zone, or to this side, it's man. To this side, it's zone. We do a really good job here of matching it. We get great push by our D-line up front. Ends up fumbling the ball. This is not how you fall in a football. We spend all types of time on this. I was a takeaway coach. I look like a bad takeaway coach right there. It should have been an easy takeaway for us, right? Here's another stack formation here too, guys. So this one again, down here at the bottom, right? We watch this. This was the interception we saw a second ago. We're playing lock on this one. We made a zone it check up top. You can really see we're hitting our landmarks, right? We're doing a good job of man match coverage, right? Quarterback feels some pressure. He doesn't know if it's one high man or zone, throws it. Rudy does a good job of stepping in front of the ball and picking it off.